Welcome back for another Bad Batch episode breakdown. Episode 4 Cornered was another episode that seemed rather short, with a few things that were important and wanted to talk about those things. The episode starts out with the Bad Batch and Omega looking for a place to hide and lay low, while Omega chimes in and says she has lived on Camino her whole life and wants to explore. We can see that Omega still hasn't grasped at how important it is to take every precaution they can right now to stay undetected. She is a kid after all, and the galaxy is an enormous place with exciting places to see. Tech tells them that they are running low on fuel and have no more rations, and with them not having the Republic providing these things, they are going to have to acquire them on their own. Echo tells them that on the comm chatter, their ship's signature is on a wanted list. This is definitely a problem for the Batch, but Tech doesn't seem to be very worried and tells them that they will just scramble it. They will need to land and make the necessary modifications, so he calculates the closest planet and sets coordinates for Pantora. As they land on Pantora, the shipyard depot guard comes out to scan their ship as Wrecker tries to intimidate the guard to skipping this step, which he does, but for some credits. As he goes back into the office, we see him notify a bounty hunter. He calls himself Rasbar 6 and tells the person whom is Fennec Shan that he might know where the ship is that she is looking for, but it's going to cost her. Fennec tells him that she would make it worth his while and asks for the coordinates and enters into hyperspace. Fennec Shan's character is really important, as we have seen her in The Mandalorian, running around with Boba Fett, and we will see her in more projects to come, like the Book of Boba. Tech and Wrecker stay behind, while Hunter, Echo, and Omega head into the market for supplies. Wrecker complains they were going sightseeing, as Omega's eyes kind of lit up, but Hunter reminds her that this is a supply run. As they walk towards the market area, we see Omega is kind of mesmerized by everything and probably feels like a field trip to her. As they approach a celebration parade of the war being over with troopers marching, Omega had asked, "Isn't the war being over a good thing?" While Tech tells her that it depends on whose side you're on. Hunter finds and speaks to a shopkeeper to see if he will purchase their last explosive for credits. When he declines the sale, he sees Omega knocking stuff over in the shop and notices Echo helping her inspect the toy soldier that fell. This is a little Easter egg and is similar to the Stormtrooper doll that the Death Troopers find while looking for Jyn Erso in Rogue One. Only here we can see it as a clone trooper. The shopkeeper offers to buy Echo for 2,000 credits. When they realize that he didn't know that Echo wasn't a droid, an opportunity to make some credits ran through Hunter's head. He runs it by Echo, who is less than thrilled by the idea, but gives in, but not at that price. "I am worth more than 2,000, he says. I love this part, and I have to say, I agree, Echo, you are worth way more. Plan is to get the credits and then later signal Echo when he can leave, so don't worry, we do get him back. They agree on 3,000 and begin to settle up as Omega is distracted by the sound of a pack of barking Vorpax in a cart. It stops near her as she walks up to it as one of them snatches the toy from her hand. The cart begins moving as Omega chases after it. Not long after, Omega realizes that she is lost and separated from her friends. As the shopkeeper takes possession of Echo, he hilariously puts on a restraining bolt on him and shoves him in the back with the other droids as their new supervisor. Hunter turns around and sees Omega is nowhere in sight and begins to start looking for her. Fennec, who had been watching Omega as she was running down the street, approaches her and asks if she is alright and that she seemed lost. Omega tells her that she got separated from her friends as Fennec offers to help her. She appeals to Omega as someone whom she can trust. She ends up knocking over some fruit out of someone's basket and puts 2 of them in her helmet as she helps put them back in the basket. Omega points out she didn't pay for that, as Shan's response was, "It's okay to break the rules sometimes." Omega had asked, "Are you a soldier?" And while Fennec tells her, not exactly, she doesn't tell her that she's a bounty hunter either. Omega was curious as to why she had carried a blaster, and is told that it's for protection and the galaxy is a dangerous place. Not sure if she was dropping any subtle hints there or not, but even if she was, Omega had not picked up on them. Hunter finally catches up with Omega and tells her to step away from her, as Fennec puts on her helmet and then starts firing at Hunter. Omega pulls on Shan's arms to move her blaster shots away from Hunter as he tells her to run and ends up in a physical fight with Fennec in this scene. We see that she is very skilled and was a challenge for Hunter, except that he is definitely stronger than her. She headbutts him with her helmet, and since he doesn't have a helmet on, he drops to the ground as Fennec gets away. Hunter tells everyone on the comms what happened and that there is someone after Omega. Wrecker heads out to aid Hunter as Tech stays behind to hack into the city's cameras, try to locate her quicker. Hunter also tells Tech that he made some noise and that they need the ship to be ready as soon as they get back. With the ship now all taken apart, he makes the comment that it would be impossible unless they had some maintenance droids to put it back together quickly. Echo, still in the shopkeeper's possession, hears that and orders the droids to follow them after he takes the restraining bolts off and heads out. Tech spots Omega as she is going down a maintenance tunnel and tells them where she is headed. She ends up running into Wrecker down in the tunnel, and just as they were heading back, Omega spots Fennec from behind. Wrecker tells Omega to get back to the ship, so she climbs up a ladder and Wrecker goes to take on Fennec. Being very quick and Wrecker more brute force, she quickly dodges his attack and pushes him into the wall, where he hits his head yet again. It is interesting to see both Hunter and Wrecker get one-upped by Fennec Shand, but since this is their first encounter with her, I'm sure they will be more prepared to handle her next time. Omega reaches the top and opens the door, and she sees that she is trapped at the top of a maintenance tower. Fennec blasts the door open. It startles her as she falls over and catches herself on the ledge. When Hunter doesn't hear back from Wrecker on the comms, Tech informs him that Omega is hanging from the tower and that he needed to hurry. Hunter steals a speeder bike from someone that went inside a shop and heads up towards Omega. Just as Omega is about to fall, Fennec reaches out and grabs her hand and tells her that she can thank her later. She sees a transport vehicle coming by and tells Omega to tuck and roll, and drops her and then jumps as they both are now ahead of Hunter. Omega releases a lever and dumps Fennec off as she lands onto another vehicle. Shand quickly throws the driver out. As she sees authorities pursuing her, she quickly fires her blaster at one of them and causes them to crash. This whole scene and speeder chase with the neon lights and even the music really takes you back to the Attack of the Clones with the Coruscant chase. Hunter eventually reaches Omega and then slows down just enough to throw their last explosive onto the vehicle Fennec was in as she sees it and leaps out just before it explodes. Getting up from the ground and limping, she sees defeat for now, but this isn't over. Not by a long shot. By this time, Echo and the droids he brought to put the ship back together have finished, and the ship is ready to go. As they all make it back, they lift off without paying Raspar. Once on the ship, Hunter states she has to be a bounty hunter, and they needed to find out who hired her. Fennec reaches where Raspar is. She lets him know to contact her if they come back. Then she tells someone on comms that the target got away, but she would find them. I can't wait to see the next episode, and while this once again was a little shorter, it did have the introduction of Fennec Shand, and we were able to see her in action with the first encounter with the badge. It will be interesting to see how they handle her on their next encounter. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you're liking these videos and you aren't subscribed, consider doing so, as I will continue to upload more videos and clips. Stay safe out in the galaxy, and may the Force be with you all.